texting.
Could I get the FOIL email address or website, please?
Hold on.
Sure.
I'm here. I'm just pulling it up on another page. I know you called earlier, and I made sure I looked it up because I knew you'd be calling back.
My alarm didn't even go off. How did you know I was going to call you back? And I'm not trying to give you a hard time.
Do you set your alarm to call?
In 2 hours, yeah, when you would not expect me. I'm not trying to be a pain in your butt. I just want to know the website or the email I've sent.
Okay, let me see, because I did make sure I got it. And you said you've emailed it before, though, haven't you?
Oh yeah, we're suing. I just want to make sure when I call and
you have the right one. Okay.
No.
One word: DSS FOIL.
At?
You got that? At Erie.gov.
Would you mind if I just checked what I've sent before? Could I place you or not?
Yeah, sure.
You're going to be here, but just let me.
I don't have any access to see if it came through or anything to that.
Oh, okay. I know. It's a black hole and it's never going to go anywhere, and then nobody's ever going to find out. Oh, hold on. And this is not you. I understand you're here to answer the phones and be polite, and I really appreciate you answering the phones. That's the bare minimum, and I really appreciate you showing up. This is not personal against you.
After midnight, it's just one person on, and it's just really meant for, like, emergencies. But I had a feeling you'd call back, so I made sure I looked it up and had the information for you.
Okay, let me pull up my email. You know, they have a new county policy that says if you try to take pictures in the Roth building, they will actually kick you out. And then when they call the sheriffs can't kick them out. So they just stand there looking at each other stupidly. And the director is basically just, I guess, waiting for a federal lawsuit that will get rid of him. I'd rather just take care of kids and do what we're supposed to, and you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say that, bureaucracy is your fault. It just feels really weird when you send, let's see, December 3rd is when I started sending emails. I started with DFS FOIL. I would like to request, and this is December 3rd, and I've never received anything back from DSS FOIL. I've sent to ECSO Press. I've got the sheriff's office. I've got the body cam. I went to Lisa Croce. Is that even this one? I've got like 600 public requests, so this might not be. That's City of Erie. There it is. This letter will serve to acknowledge your receipt of the FOIL request, and then nothing ever comes. They say we've received it, but nothing ever comes. Months and months and months. And specifically what I'm looking for...
Does it say anywhere on there if you don't hear from us, call or anything?
Well, the first one is like a boilerplate response.
Like a receipt, like we got it.
Right. And then a day later, Lisa sends me an email. There's not anything in the body. There's one attachment. You click on the attachment, and it says Department of Social Services, blah, blah, blah. This letter will serve to acknowledge your receipt. And I've never received anything. I've sent dozens and dozens and dozens of requests. The only thing that actually seems to be coming back is, what is this? Professional Standards Division, body cam footage. Yeah, the Sheriff's Department's really good. The Sheriff's Department is amazing at getting stuff back, but for social services, those materials would not be subject to disclosure. So I've sent stuff to DFS FOIL at Erie.gov, and I appreciate your information. That's literally all I can require from you as far as what you're supposed to provide to me. I do appreciate you at least listening to me. I'm not trying to be a pain in anybody's butt. Albert, his daughter was taken from him from CPS, and months later, she had signs of abuse, and he just wanted to take some photos, and they said no. And then she died a couple months later, and then he has 3 other kids in CPS custody. So he just wanted to, once again, take pictures or videotape his own children. And when he tried, they kicked him out of the building and said, not only are we kicking you out, but I'm going to tell your son that you don't want to see him. And started like doing weird personal mind games. They have a hard job. They have an important
So
job.
you're calling on behalf of a friend?
Hell no. I want everybody to be able to take a picture of their kids in custody. That's first amendment.
Okay.
That's just
but you
basic.
don't have but you don't have a case with Erie County.
Oh hell no! If they
you're
found
calling for someone, you're
if they-
calling on.
if they found out
behalf
I
of
was
someone
calling
else.
on behalf of somebody, they would punish him more.
Okay.
If they found
Okay.
out I was on his side, they would punish the kids more. So no, I am not calling on behalf of anybody. I just feel like American citizens have the right to take a picture of their own child, whether or not they're in the custody and care of CPS. When your eyes are open, you're allowed to take a picture. If you're not allowed to be there, they can kick you out of that place.
Do you know if that was something that was part of a court order? Because sometimes judges put odd things in a court order. So maybe ask your friend that.
Oh yeah,
whoever.
This is very interesting that you say that. They said the only way we can stop you from taking photos of your own child is if there's a court order. So the lawyer went into the court later that day and lied and said that the journalist was trying to bust in through the back doors and take pictures of all the children. And then the judge saw through it and denied it. And he's still not able to take photos of his child, even though there is no court order. There is no ruling. There is no reason that he can't. But I'm not calling on his behalf. I'm saying if a father wants to take a picture of his own kids. Now, if he's not allowed to see his kids, that's different. If he can't see them, there's a reason that he can't be there to take the photo. But you can't say you can't take a photograph. If you're there, the public's allowed to be there. You're allowed to film what your eyes can see. If you're breaking a rule, breaking a law, and that's what they do. They say, oh, the visitation process, he tried to take a photo and we didn't allow it. And then we're not kicking you out. We're not trespassing you. We're saying your visitation is over. And if you don't leave, we're going to punish you. So,
sir, do you ever call like during business hours when like a director or someone is there for you to talk to?
Oh yeah. And when the journalist showed up to the Rath building, do you know what they did? They made a new rule that says no photographs allowed in the building, on the outside of the building, in the county courtyard, on the sidewalk, in the driveway, down the road. You can't point a photograph or you can't point a camera at the building. And when they call the sheriff to uphold that law, it's not a law, it's a rule or policy, the sheriffs look at them blankly in the face and say, we can't kick them out of a public building. So the county supervisor, it's not a county commissioner, is basically stonewalling and blackballing and just obfuscating the truth. That's what it is. So when I call in the day, they say, there's a website. Call this number. Email this. Which they don't even do it. They don't even do. They said, there's a website. Could I get an email? No. Could I get your email? No. What's your name? No. Okay. Like, We're humans. You're doing a job. You're answering the phone. You have your, policy scripts, everything you need to do. I get it, and I'm not against that. When they start hanging up on me when I call, when they start threatening to call the sheriff's department. I spoke to New York State Police. I spoke to the Buffalo County Sheriff's Department. I spoke to a lot of people tonight, and I let them know what's going on there at DSS, CPS, and they're threatening that this is harassment. This is not harassment. Now, I would agree if I was abusive to the people or if I was mean or cussing, hang up on me and never answer again. But I'm really trying not to. It's a very I'm very passionate about this, but I'm trying not to hold everybody accountable. You know what I'm saying? I just want an email address, dfsfoil@erie.gov. God bless you. God bless you for just giving me that. It never comes back. It's never going to come back. Auditing Erie County is the channel name. And when Robert Brooks was beaten while he was handcuffed, he's one of 2 journalists that showed up at the prison and said, "Are you striking because your sheriffs aren't allowed to bring drugs in? Or are you striking because you're not allowed to beat somebody to death?" So, New York has issues, but we all have a job to do. I was sent out here to investigate, and I really appreciate you answering the phone again. I understand, you can't let out personal information. That's not what I'm asking for. I want the official FOIL email address.
Yeah, it sounds like you were emailing the correct address. Because you were getting a return receipt anyway, if nothing else.
And like I said, the Sheriff's Department, they came back within a month, which isn't bad. They asked for an extension. Fine, that's within the law. The issue I have is when the caseworker is threatening to tell the child that the parent doesn't want to see them anymore just because the parent wants to take a picture or film of their own kid. There's no other kids back there. It's a private room. There's a vending machine so they can shame the fathers that don't bring McDonald's or Arby's, so they have to buy, candy, whatever. It's not a good situation. Even if you're a drunk, deadbeat dad, you love your kids. And they say, bring the food for your kids. I have personal experience in this. I'm not trying to bring this into this, but I have a little bit of experience, and I know, there's no privacy issues. There's not like 30 kids in the room. It's your kids and a caseworker. And the only reason to not let them take a video is to hide the abuse or to twist the parents. And if there's another, this is for the PIO, the Public Information Officer. I don't expect a secretary or somebody that's answering the phone to give me these answers. That's not what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
So I appreciate your time, your candor, your honesty. I'm not trying to make your job harder. I'm not trying to make your life harder. I just wanted the answer, dfsfoil@erie.gov. And even though, we may have had a little bit of a hiccup earlier today, I'm going to disregard all that and say that you gave me the information that I needed, because that's all I wanted. I'm not trying to, make problems and make enemies. I'm trying to bridge the gap. I'm trying to get people to think about the job that they have and have empathy. That's all. So I appreciate you listening to me, thinking,
Sure.
answering the phone call and all that. I know it's a hard job. I know you have to listen to horrendous things, and I know CPS has a purpose. But I also know they don't have to lie in court to take kids. So it was really bad. Auditing Erie County, he had the deputy commissioner in front of him, and he said, "Can you agree that the caseworkers shouldn't have to lie to take kids? You know, if it's serious enough and there's evidence, you can take the kids. But do they have to lie about it?" And they wouldn't admit it. They wouldn't say, "I agree, they shouldn't lie about it." They wouldn't say that. So even at that, you know, the lawyers speak, the diffusion of responsibility, it's really sick. And it's not you, it's not the people that are at the bottom. It's the people that are telling everybody to not answer the public records requests. You know, he showed up and said, "I'd like to submit a public records request." They said, "Oh, you mean a subpoena?" You know what that means? When you say, "I'd like to ask for record," and they say, "Do you have a subpoena?" It means we never, ever, ever give anybody anything unless you sue us. And if you sue us, we try to make you go to the Wrath building. Even though, you know, this building, they could just take it, forward it to the legal counsel and all that. That's fine. You could do that. But they try to stonewall. They try to make you jump through hoops. And that's why the FOIL law was created. The FOIL law basically states the data, the information belongs to the people. And if you stand in the way of that, that's unlawful. And they're not trying to make state, county, city workers responsible. They're not trying to hold them accountable. They're not trying to hold them over the fire. They have the choice. Take the information, forward it on, and if they decide to not, you know, give the information back to me, at least it's not on you. So I hope you'll at least think about that. The public records law requires everybody. Like I could say, "I like blah, 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 2024. And by law, you would have to do that. That's not what I'm trying to do. I get the email, I send the email, I CC my lawyer, and I could sue 100 counties in New York. But this is really the only one that I care about, is this one specific county. It's really sad. You know, I watch hundreds and hundreds of videos every week. And when somebody says, "Get that camera out of here, I don't want you looking around here," Schenectady, New York, they made a no video policy in City Hall. That doesn't touch me personally like a lost child. I lost my baby at 25 days old. So to me personally, I just think the truth is important. That's all. And gosh, you're going to have to hang up on the next 3 people just to get your call time back. I hope they don't track you on that.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm glad to get a better understanding of what your purpose is.
Like I said, I'm not trying to cause enemies. I'm trying to bridge the gap. I'm trying to explain what I'm trying to do. And if they wouldn't hang up on me during the day, I wouldn't even be talking to you. So, you know how it is. You know what it is. You know where it goes. And all I can say is auditing Erie County, he's a force for good. And if you think there's something going on that you need to tell them about, you know, don't rely on the state auditors. Don't rely on the inspector general. Call independent media. Dan Warmus in Erie County, he's really out there for the people. He's been to 43 out of 44 counties in New York so far. Lake Placid, a lady actually danced on screen, and she's the closing caption. Every time the video closes, it shows her dancing. She was just messing around, Don't take a video of me. But we're not trying to, make the divide deeper. We're trying to, bridge the divide. You're a person, I'm a person. We have a life, we have a job, we have kids, we have family, and things like FOIL, where the law says you have to give it. And let's say you ask a police officer for their badge number, and they don't give it to you. You think the complaint is really going to stop somebody? It's not about that. It's about when the guy's handcuffed on the gurney in the corrections facility, and the guy's got his boot in his hand, and the other guys are stomping on his face, and Robert Brooks died. I'm not saying he's a good person. I'm just saying that he didn't deserve that.
No.
And the corrections officers that are striking, they're striking because a sheriff's deputy stole drugs from a traffic stop, and he got punished for that. That's why they're striking. They're not striking for good wages. They're not striking for humanitarian reasons. They're striking because their sheriff's officer was caught stealing drugs, and he was punished, and that's why they're striking. So, get drunk on the side of the road, light a big bonfire, but when the journalist shows up and you show your ass, he's going to show it on TV. They have a hard job. They have a really fucking hard job. There's bad people in this world, but there's no reason to treat, anybody like they have. Anyways, this is getting a little bit too long. I feel bad. I understand you're listening, and I really appreciate that. I don't want to push my luck, so I appreciate you spending the time. I thank you for the email. You gave me the email. Like I said, I'm going to disregard the... And I understand. You have scammers. You have fake people. You have people that have illegitimate reasons. They're trying to make everybody busy so they can get away with something. That's not what I'm trying to do at all. So I appreciate your intelligence and knowing.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to explain to me what your reasoning is.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Have a good night.
Okay. You have a good night.
All right. Bye-bye.